boys and girls, welcome to Library Storytime. Our first story today is Look Out, Jack, the Giant is Back. That's a big foot, wasn't it? You like that big green foot?
Yeah, that was a real giant.
Last you heard of Jack, he had outsmarted the fee-fi-fo-fum giant and made off with the bags of coins, the hen that laid the golden eggs, and the magic harp that could sing so pretty. That old giant lay dead at the bottom of the beanstalk. So you thought that was the happily ever after end of that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Some say yes and some say no. Well, wrong. Not more than 10 minutes later, the dead giant's big brother showed up. He was something fearful, twice the size of the little one, 10 times as nasty, and as ugly as slug pie. Ooh, slug pie. He started tying a rope ladder together so he could climb down and get Jack for what he'd done. Lickety-split Jack and his mama packed up the coins and the hen and the harp, then hopped on a boat to America, where Jack brought a nice little farm in the mountains of North Carolina. That old giant will never find us here, Jack said, and settled down to raising the prettiest prize-winning roses you've ever seen. Life was good and peaceful and oh so fragrant. So he must have raised a lot of roses. Yeah. Until one day in August when it was so hot, Jack had to pack the hen in ice to keep her from laying hard-boiled eggs. That's silly, isn't it? He just finished the job and was having some lemonade on the front porch when there boomed a deep, angry thundercloud of a voice. Wham, blam, hickety-hack! I'm gonna get that boy named Jack. He now be living, but soon he'll roast. I'll spread him with mustard and eat him on toast. Uh-oh, said Jack. Uh-oh was right. Standing there atop a mountain, glaring down at him with mean green eyes was you-know-who. The brother. I think that dog should be careful there, don't you? You see why? Give me the money, Jack, the giant demanded, and the hen and the harp too. Bring 'em to me now, or I'm coming down to get 'em, and it won't be pretty. Jack looked around. No chance of running for it. He was caught red-handed, which would have made most folks as nervous as a duck in the desert. Not Jack, though. He waved real friendly-like and hollered, "Be right there, Mr. Giant." Then, right quick, he and his mama put together a little picnic for the occasion. 373 platters of southern fried chicken, 600 pounds of mashed potatoes with gravy, huge heaps of boiled okra, fried green tomatoes, and coleslaw, 1,000 biscuits with sweet cream butter and strawberry jam, 99 gallons of tart apple cider, a red checked tablecloth to spread everything on, and a dozen of his finest, most fragrant, long-stemmed roses for a centerpiece. That is a lot of food, but I suppose as big as a giant is, he would need that much.
How is they going to kill?
That is a good question. Look at this picture. All of this, plus the coins, the hen, and the harp, Jack packed onto his 2 mules, Thistle and Thorn. Then up the path he went, whistling like he didn't have a trouble in the world, because you see, Jack, being as smart as a tree full of owls, had a plan. As soon as Jack got to the top of the mountain, the giant started in again. Wham, blam, hickety, hack. I'm going to get that boy named Jack. He now be living, but soon he'll roast. I'll spread him with mustard and eat him on toast.
Not nice.
Not at all. They're mad at Jack. Now there he stands nice and tall, doesn't he? Then the giant stood back with an evil, gape-toothed grin, waiting for Jack to fall all over himself, trembling in fear. But Jack smiled and said, "Nice to meet you too, Mr. G." "Maybe you didn't hear me right," the giant grumbled. He shouted so loud windows rattled clear up in New York City. All the way from North Carolina, okay? "Wham, blam, hickety hack. I'm going to get that boy named Jack. He now be living, but soon he'll roast. I'll spread him with mustard and eat him on toast." As calmly as you please, Jack said, "I figured you'd be hungry." He pulled out a platter of that southern fried chicken and waved it in the mountain breeze so the giant could get a good whiff. "Think of it as an appetizer," he said. Yeah, he sort of does look creepy, doesn't he? Insulted that Jack wasn't responding to his show of ferocity, the giant snatched the chicken out of Jack's hand and shoved it, platter and all, down his throat in one bite. How many chicken pieces was that? I don't remember. It was a lot. Jack said, "By all means, help yourself." He was busy spreading the rest of the picnic goodies out on the red check tablecloth. "But tell me, where do you think I should put the roses?" Roses? The giant couldn't stand it. Just what did he have to do to get some respect? He snapped down another platter of fried chicken, then another and another. He'd showed Jack a thing or two, until all 373 were gone, and 600 pounds of mashed potatoes with gravy, and the huge heaps of boiled okra, fried green tomatoes, and coleslaw, and the 1,000 biscuits with sweet cream butter and strawberry jam, and even the red checked tablecloth. Then he washed it all down with those 99 gallons of tart apple cider. I think so. So there, the giant bellowed after the last gulp. He began again. Wham, blam, hickety, hack. But quickly his volume faded. "I'm gonna get that boy name." His stomach was starting to feel a right mite uncomfortable from all that food he'd crammed in. It was too much, even for a giant. "Ah, you get the point, Jack," the giant moaned. "But before I eat you, where's the money?" "Oh, yeah," Jack said. "Sorry, I almost forgot." He hauled out the bags of coins. "Here they be, Mr. G." The giant's belly began to rumble and gurgle in a disturbing way. His next words came out with hiccups in between. "And the hiccup hen that lays golden eggs. Did you bring the hiccup hen, Jack?" "Why, sure," said Jack. He held up the hen and gave it a little peck of a kiss. The giant belched so big. Can I hear a big burp? Can you do a big burp? Help me. Burp. They're a little shy about that. They have such good manners. Folks in the valley thought a thunderstorm was brewing. "And the magic harp," he said with a grimace. "I want to hear the harp sing." "Good idea," said Jack, reaching for the harp. "Nothing like the right song to calm an upset stomach." "What song do you wish, Mr. Jack?" the harp asked. That is some belly, isn't it? He bloated with all that stuff. The giant was clutching his belly and had turned a terrible shade of green. Jack whispered to the harp's ear, and the harp began to sing. Fee-fi-fiddly-dee, you'll not get the gold, the hen or me. Jack is too nimble, he's just too quick. Watch him run, lickety-split. And with that, Jack took off like a shot. The giant jumped to his feet screaming, "Come back here, you!" but quickly doubled over in pain. It looked like Jack was going to make a clean getaway, just like he'd cleverly planned. Kinda looks that way. Oh, off come the shoes. Until the giant, who was not quite as stupid as Jack had thought, pulled a trick of his own. He kicked off his boots and waved his smelly old toes in the air. Imagine the stinkiest feet ever. Then imagine 10,000 times more. One whiff and a flock of geese fainted in midair. Trees keeled over like wilted lettuce. Why, even the clouds in the sky took off for Canada. The smell was so bad. Jack couldn't handle it either. He became dizzy. His knees buckled under him and he fell to the ground. Oh dear. And so this story might have tragically ended with Jack spread with mustard and eaten on toast, and the coins and the hen and the magic harp back in Giant Land, if Jack hadn't been such a quick thinker. Gasping for breath, he crawled to his roses and breathed deeply. So fragrant were they that he instantly revived and escaped down under the mountain with all the loot. Whew. I thought Jack was a goner, didn't you? The giant became madder than a rained-on rooster. In a tantrum, he stomped his feet so hard, the vibrations went all the way to California, where some folks say they are shaking things up still. He stomped again and again, harder and harder, until the jolts were so powerful that the top of the mountain fell in, swallowing him and his stinky toesies too. There he stays to this very day. And Jack, why, he's Jack on his farm with his mama, gathering golden eggs, listening to that magic harp, and growing the prettiest, most fragrant roses you can imagine. He'll get married soon, I reckon, and live happily ever after, because this time that really is the end of the story. Wham, blam, hickety heck. No more giants to bother Jack. He now be living a life of ease, sitting on the front porch pretty as you please. So Jack has it made, they think. Woo. I thought that was a fun story.
Pretty funny.
All right. Well, Miss Lisa has one for us.
All right. This is called Detective Donut and the Wild Goose Chase. All right. So we're going to get to play along with the detective. All right, here's the detective. He's this big bear, and then this is his little helper down here. I woke up with my head in my hands. It had been a long night. My last case had gotten the better of me, and besides, it was my birthday, and no one had remembered. Worst of all, my partner had eaten the last donut when there came a knock on the door. Knock, knock, knock. Yeah, I said. He's not too happy. The strange bird walked through my door. Donut? She asked. Yes, please, I said, and a hot chocolate. Donut, she said again, I need your help. Remember, his name is Detective Donut. She told me that she worked for the Professor Drake, the famous archaeologist. Professor Drake is missing, said the bird. I need your help to find him. He's got a statue that he needs me to take to the museum. Professor Drake and I were old friends. I first met him at the museum. That notorious thief Goose had stolen a priceless mummy, and the professor had helped me track down Goose and put him behind bars. Which reminded me, my mother owed me a birthday present. Anyway, the professor often traveled to far-off lands in search of ancient treasure. He usually told me before he left, though. Maybe this time he had forgotten. He had also forgotten to tell me that he had an assistant. Do you guys see anything a little strange about this assistant?
He's wearing a mask.
Okay, let's see if you're right. How could I say no? I set out to look for my old friend, and on the way out, I picked up my mail. A couple of bills, a postcard, and a strange-looking package with a stamp from Malta on it. I figured the package was my birthday present from my mother. Funny, I didn't know she was on vacation. But right now, I had more important things to do than open my mail. I was on a case, and I knew just how to begin. I needed to follow my nose. All the way to Joe's Donuts. Hey, I was still out of donuts. Eating a donut or two always makes me think better. It was after my third donut that I had my first big break. Fortunately, it was my big toe, and I seemed to have lost my birthday present. You guys see his big toe got run over, and there goes his birthday present. These pictures really tell the story well. My mother usually knitted me a pair of socks for my birthday. I can always use a good pair of socks, but why would anyone want my socks? I must have been daydreaming. One minute my package was gone, but the next minute it was back again. See, there's his little assistant helping him out. I had to get my mind back on the job. In this line of work, if you aren't careful, you can end up with an egg on your face. It was time for me to head over to the professor's house to check things out. I sure got a surprise when I got there. Someone had turned the place upside down. You got it. I guess they were looking for something really valuable, something that the professor didn't want anyone to find. I realized the professor could be in real danger. And that's when the lights went out. Let's see what happens. And by the time the lights came back on, someone had turned me upside down. And my birthday present was gone. And then I heard a noise coming from the alley outside. The thief was trying to make a break for it. I took off after him. What did this guy want with my birthday socks? Now, does this look like birthday socks to you?
No.
As I ran down the alley, I started to get mad, real mad. I was supposed to be looking for the professor, but I was chasing my own birthday present instead. My socks would be too big for this guy anyway. And this dark alley was enough to give you goosebumps. The thief got away, but I found my package in the trash. I guess my socks were too big for him after all. It had been a long day. I needed a donut. So I headed back to Joe's. Turns out I wasn't the only one. The professor's assistant was right behind me, looking a little worse for wear. See the professor, I asked. Over there, she yelled. What? Where? Where? I shouted as I looked over my shoulder. I couldn't see anyone. When I turned back around, I couldn't see my birthday present either. This just wasn't my day. Okay, pay attention to what the little assistant's doing. See, he's got some scissors. He's going to cut that rope. What's that rope holding up? Suddenly, there was a crash. Next thing I knew, the professor's assistant was as flat as a pancake. Then it hit me. The professor didn't have an assistant. It was the notorious Goose himself trying to make off with my socks. "I've been framed," shouted the goose. "That's what they all say," I said. I caught him red-handed. Meanwhile, my package had broken open on the floor. There was no sign of my socks, just a dusty statue. I couldn't figure out why the goose was trying to swipe my present, especially since it wasn't my socks. But I didn't have time to worry about that now. The professor was still missing. So I went back to my office to think things over. So that big donut side fell right on top of the goose. That's when I remembered my mail. One of the bills was for the phone. The postcard was from Professor Drake. It said he knew that Goose was on the loose and was coming after him to steal the statue. I quickly deduced that the package wasn't from my mother after all. The professor had sent me the statue for safekeeping while he hid out from the goose. The postcard said that the professor would come out of hiding after I had delivered the statue safely to the museum. The professor would be so pleased to hear how I single-handedly closed the case and kept the statue safe. And my mother had remembered my birthday after all. While I was out, she had dropped off my birthday socks. They were red and fit perfectly. She had also baked my favorite birthday cake. It had been another long day, and another case was closed. Suddenly, the lights went out. Uh-oh, I think I forgot to pay my electricity bill. And there it is. There's the newspaper, said Goose is back in jail. And there's that weird statue that needed to go to the museum. So that was Detective Donut and the Wild Goose Chase. Now, boys and girls, we're going to get a chance to play detective ourselves. So I'm going to give each of you, let's start with 2 pictures each. See if we have enough for everyone to have. There's enough for each of you to have 2. And 1 more. Here, have another one. Have another picture, have another picture. All right, take a look at your pictures. I'm going to ask you a question. And you're going to bring the picture up here, and then I'm going to ask you another question that you need to really think hard about to answer, all right? So, who's got a picture of some kids eating, eating something? We have a picture of somebody sitting down eating. All right, come and stick that like way up here in the corner so we can get all of them on here when we're done. Let's stick it up here for now. Okay, now, look at the picture real quick. You got to play detective for me. What meal are they eating? Can you tell?
Milk and sandwiches.
Okay, is it lunch, breakfast, or dinner?
Dinner.
Dinner? Are you sure?
Breakfast.
Breakfast? Who else has another idea? What do you think?
Lunch.
Well, how do we know it's lunch?
Because it's like lunch.
Yeah, well, and look, they have a lunch box. You know, and if you're at school, you might be sitting at some round tables and drinking out of the little milk cartons.
It's like a picnic.
Okay, sort of like a picnic, but they're at a table, isn't it? So they're having lunch. It's okay. It could have been any meal, but by using the clues in the picture, we think of that as probably lunch. All right, who has a picture of a boy reading?
Boy reading.
Oh, is that you too? Okay. I tried to scramble them up. Stick it right here next to it. Okay, this one's going to be easier. Here's your special detective question. What time of day is it in that picture? What time of day?
Tuesday.
What time of day? Is it morning, night, noon?
Night.
How do you know it's night? You're right. How do you know?
The lights are
The lights are on and the rest of it's all dark. Good job. You played detective very
good
well.
Job.
Okay. Who's got somebody holding an umbrella? Okay. Come on up and let's play detective.
An umbrella.
Okay. So, by looking at this picture, what kind of weather is he experiencing?
It's raining.
It's raining, and how do we know?
Because he has an umbrella and a wetsuit on.
Yeah, he's got all of his wetsuit, his galoshes, and his raincoat and rain hat. Very good. She did a good detective job, too. Okay. Now, does somebody have a girl drinking? Wait, no, she's not drinking anything in that picture. Hang on just a minute. Let's get the girl drinking. Put that right up here. All right, are you ready to play detective? What is she drinking?
No,
How did you know?
because she is drinking.
Okay, and well, what color is milk?
White.
White. And look at her upper lip. What happens sometimes if you drink milk too fast? You get a milk mustache. Good detective work. Okay. Okay. A milk stash, right. Does somebody have a picture of, let's see, something that to do about an animal? Oh, actually, I think it's that one, yeah. All right. So go ahead and put that down here. Now, your detective question is, what animal is going to eat that food?
A dog.
How do we know?
There's like dog footprints.
Uh-huh.
And dog food and water.
And they get water. Very good.
Cat food have smaller bowls.
That's right. They would have smaller bowls. Okay. Good. Does somebody have a boy that looks sad? I think you've got that one right there. The little boy that looks sad. Okay. Okay, let's just stick it right here. Okay, here's your detective question. This one, pay attention to the picture. Why is he so sad?
Because there's a thunderstorm.
Okay, maybe, but what's with this ball and what's with that dark spot right there?
He broke a window.
Did you hear your brother? He broke a window. The ball went through the window. Oh, that's why he's so sad, right? Okay, take a seat. All right, who has a picture of somebody in swim trunks? Okay. All right, here's your detective question. Where do you think he is? Where?
The swimming pool.
It could be at the pool. Could there be another place he could be too?
The beach.
The beach, okay. And how do we know that?
Because he's wearing a swim trunks and having glasses on.
Yep, he's got his goggles on so he can swim underwater. That's right, beach or pool, you got it. Okay, we also have a picture of a mama. Let's see, I think you've got the mama picture. Come put that mama up here. Okay, so can you tell what this mama has been doing?
Jogging.
Hang on, he's the detective. All right, so why do you think she's been jogging?
Because she has that thing and she has the water.
She has a water bottle, she has a sweat towel, she has her hair put back, right? So jogging or exercise of some kind, right? Okay, who's got a picture of a fan? Playing detective is fun, huh? Okay, now, can you tell me what kind of weather is going on there?
Cold.
Is it cold or look at him? Are you sure he's cold?
Yeah, hot.
He's really, really hot because he's standing by the fan and what's all these little drops right here? What's he doing?
He's sweating.
He's sweating, that's right, okay.
Good job.
We have just a few more minutes, so let's get these other three detectives up here. All right, let's have a cake. Quickly with the cake. Put the cake up here. How old is the kid who's having a birthday?
5.
How do we know?
Because there are 5 candles.
5 candles. Go ahead and put your other picture up there. And do you know what holiday this is?
Halloween.
And how do we know?
Because they're all in costume.
They're all in costumes, ladybugs, witches, and fairies. Very cool. And our last picture, detective work is fun. Okay. Now, what chore needs to be done? The laundry, right? Does your laundry basket ever get that big at your house? No? It does at my house. My goodness, look at all that laundry that needs to be done. Very good, boys and girls. You play detective. It's fun sometimes. It doesn't overflow. It's fun to look at pictures and then try to decide what is going on in each picture. So, Miss Kim, that was a lot of fun. Do you have anything else for us today?
Well, I think maybe we've pretty much filled up our time today.
I think so,
I thought
too.
that was really fun. We should have another one of those someday. All right. Well, we hope you had fun, boys and girls, and we trust you are good detectives, too. Trust you will have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye now.